In the village of Wugazi, where the air was thick with forgotten songs and the earth held secrets beneath every stone, dusk fell like an old prayer. Inside a modest hut, vines curled through the walls like fingers trying to pull the past back in. In the corner sat an ancient drum, its skin split, its voice silent. No one had touched it in years. Not since the river stopped singing. And not since the silence began. Lela had never met her mother. All she had was a name whispered by strangers and a pendant that pulsed when the moon rose. She stared into the broken mirror, her reflection fractured like memory itself. Something stirred deep in her chest, not fear, not hope, something older. The pendant hummed again. Tonight, it would begin. She walked where the others dared not. Past the old market, past the place where children once played. Her feet knew the path even if her mind didn't. The shrine at the village's edge was crumbling, forgotten. Vines had overtaken its face. But the mist that clung to the soil whispered stories, and Lela listened. The elders met in secret, their fire ringed by silence and suspicion. They spoke of signs, dreams of flame, of drums echoing underwater, of a girl wearing the forgotten pendant. She must not remember, Elder and Wosu murmured. Or everything we buried will rise. She knelt without knowing why. The spiral called her, carved deep into the stone like a question left unanswered. Her hand trembled as it touched the mark. Blue light pulsed from beneath the dust, wrapping around her fingers. The air shifted. The shrine was not dead. It had been waiting. In sleep, she fell through water thick as memory. Beneath her, a drum the size of a hut pulsed like a living heart. Faces drifted past, women, warriors, children, their mouths open but silent. Then came the beat, 1, 2, 3. It shook her soul. She awoke gasping.
Morning came but brought no warmth. The riverbed lay cracked and bare. Villagers gathered, their words hushed, their eyes watching Lela. She stood barefoot where the water once danced, her pendant flickering. The silence wasn't absence. It was listening. Adisa, the oldest woman in Wugazi, took Lela's hands in her own. "Child," she said, "there are truths that kill faster than lies. Your mother sought the drum too. And the river swallowed her name. But Lela did not flinch. Then I will call it back." The jungle knew her, just as it knew her bloodline. Trees bent. Vines moved. Leaves whispered. She walked not as a trespasser, but as one invited. Her steps echoed those of a woman long gone, whose voice still hummed in the bark and bone of Wugazi's woods. She found it. The drum was no longer asleep. Roots had coiled around it like arms refusing to let go. Symbols shimmered faintly in gold and ochre, languages no longer spoken. She reached out. The moment her fingers touched the hide, everything changed. The sky cracked. Clouds rolled in like judgment. And Lela's eyes burned with light not her own. From the trees came the first sound Wugazi had heard in decades, a drumbeat. The storm did not come from above. It came from within. They parted before her, not out of respect, but instinct. Mothers clutched children. Elders trembled. But others, the forgotten, the broken, stared with wet eyes. They remembered the songs. Lela did not look back. She was no longer just Lela. She was the drum's heir. Not all the past wished to be found. Some things buried clawed to stay hidden. Deep in the forest, something stirred, eyes glinting like coals, teeth gritted. The silence had protected it. Lela's song would undo everything. The council gathered under panic, not tradition. Stones clattered, chants rose. "Seal the memory," they cried. "Silence the girl." But their power came from fear. And fear could not match the rhythm waking beneath Wugazi's bones. On the hill where her mother was last seen, Lela stood unshaken. The drum hovered in air, turning slowly. "I am not here to destroy," she whispered. "I am here to remember." And with that, she struck it. The ground split not in violence, but release. Light streamed upward, and from it rose spirits, not ghosts, but memory embodied. They danced around her, faces radiant. They had waited for her. They had waited for the drum. In the glowing crowd, a girl ran forward. "Baba," she cried. A man turned, weeping, smiling, shimmering. All over Wugazi, reunions bloomed. Forgotten names were spoken aloud. The river inside them flowed again. The darkness did not win. Vines rose from the earth, coiling tight. The figure howled, not with pain, but with memory unraveling. It had been born of forgetting. Now, it would be no more. She fell, body drained, heart full. The storm sighed and scattered. Villagers rushed forward, not in fear but reverence. They knew now. Wugazi was not cursed. It had only been silent, too long. Where silence once ruled, laughter returned. The old schoolhouse, once rotted, was reborn. Children painted the walls. Elders taught songs. And on the highest shelf sat the drum, watching over them. The river came back. Not with noise, but with grace. Children splashed. Nets flew. Laughter returned. It had not been water that vanished, but truth. Now that truth ran freely again. They bowed, not from duty, but from understanding. The old ways had buried too much. Now, they gave their staffs to the girl who unearthed it all. Lela, not chief, not priestess, but keeper. She told the stories now. She drew spirals, waves, and eyes in the dust. These are not myths, she said. They are your names. Say them loud. Let no one bury them again. The night came alive with drums. Not warning drums. Celebration drums. Fire roared. Feet pounded the earth. Songs bloomed like wildflowers. Wugazi remembered itself, and memory danced. She stood at the river's edge, the village behind her, the future ahead. Her reflection smiled, different now, not haunted, but whole. The pendant pulsed once more. Not a warning. A welcome.